الحمد لله به ومن والاه. أما بعد أحبتي في الله، اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا ساميا معصوما. اللهم لا تجعل فينا شقيا ولا محروما ولا مطرودا ولا معذبا بنار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار. My dear brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this gathering, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the best for all of us in this life and hereafter. At these days, a lot of people from our community preparing themselves to go to a trip of Hajj. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that from them. So we're going to give them first the opportunity to ask. And at the same time, we will give a summary that's just to open the floor for them. Hajj in Arabic, it means like, al-qasd, the intention of traveling to go somewhere. So, hajjatu qasadtu, that I have the intention to travel to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for certain, days or certain activities. And it's obligatory as once in life for those are capable, financially, physically, and this kind of security and all other conditions. And those being granted Hajj, they should feel that they are lucky. Even now with a simple math, if every year that place will come 3 million people, that means if you make just a simple math, you might think by excluding, and counting that, 3 million that they never came back, just only one time in their life. It needs over 350 years that for every single Muslim will go once for Hajj, which means that majority of Muslims, they are not even getting a chance to go for there. So that means you are lucky you've been invited, so do not miss the opportunity. Try your best to invest on that. Every single moment you are there, that should be really invested. And since Prophet Ibrahim, that he built a house, Allah commanded him to call for people for Hajj. وَأَذِّنْ فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ. When you call people for Hajj, they will come rijalan, mean on foot, or على كل ضامر, on camel, or in other words, a ride. Nowadays, it's different ride. Most of the people, they go by flight, but it's included the word وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. It is a ni'mah, as I said, but now the question, is it must that when you have the ability to go for Hajj, it has to go right away, or you have the option to delay? هل هو على الفور أم على التراخي? Is it must that to go right away, you are sinful if you have the ability and all condition is there, and you have not really utilized that? Are you that sin? It has to be must. So the Prophet said, "Hujju qabla la tahujju." Yes, like make Hajj before you are not able to make Hajj, And if somebody died without making Hajj, he might die as a Yahudi, or another hadith mentioned many other things. So is it must to go right away? Some scholars, they said that. However, the majority said no. And one strong evidence for this, that's the Prophet, he had the ability to go to Hajj, but he delayed for 2 years. So the first one, he will never delay any obligatory, that's the Prophet. So if it must has to be right away, then the Prophet himself is the first one would apply this. So it's not must right away. However, if the person reached the age where the chance will be slim that he will be capable later, then it will be must. And some scholars have said the age of 60. Where if somebody reached that one and he have the ability, he should not delay. And I would say, if you get the chance, you should go right away. Some other people ask, I have a money, I want to get married, or I want to go to Hajj. Which one? I said, which one Allah made it open for you? Which one Allah invited you for, you go for it. If subhanAllah, all means of Hajj was accessible for you and Allah made it easier for you, go for that. It's not about the opportunity or which one is priorities, No. Yes, if both are options, then of course, yes, you have that money, utilize it to get married, that comes first. If both are accessible and you have the opportunity, but if that project of marriage is not something visible at this time, and and you have the ability to go to Hajj, do not delay that. Some other people asking, is it okay that I borrow money to go to Hajj? It is fine if you have the ability of return, and it's not something that will make your Hajj invalid. No, it's not the case. It's not preferable. Actually, it's not even preferable that somebody has a big amount of loan going to Hajj before fulfilling that. And I will advise, if somebody is going to Hajj and he has a loan, that he has to take permission for the people, say, what, I have the ability to return the money, but I'm going to use that for Hajj. Are you okay with that? If they're okay with that, then it's fine. Because it's good to fulfill the right of people that first, before doing your Hajj. But generally speaking, even allow for you even to borrow if you have the ability to return. However, it's always better to select the money that you used and utilized for Hajj, that to be really pure money. I know some people, especially some sisters, they will use their mahar, their dowry, for Hajj. Some of them, they might have gold or something, they will sell that one, and they might really use that money of their dowry for Hajj. You know why? Because Allah said in the Quran, فَكُلُوهُ هَنِيئًا طَيِّبًا فَهَنِيئًا مَرِيئًا فَإِن طِبْنَ لَكُمْ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِنْهُ نَفْسًا فَكُلُوهُ. So it's tayyib, it's a pure money. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that in the Quran. Even if the person that he earned that money from haram, but he gave it to his wife, it became halal as a part of the dowry, because it became halal. So a lot of people, they try to select the good money that they use for Hajj, which it's a sign of wisdom that you want to have that trip, special trip, so you have halal money and pure money for that. Now, what's the main arkan of Hajj? The main arkan of Hajj are 4. And by the way, when you say rukun, which means pillar, or you say farad, wajib, obligatory part, those terms are very similar when you use those terms for all other acts of worship, like salah or siyam. When it comes to Hajj, there are difference between what you call rukun and wajib. Whatever rukun and wajib. الركن لا ينجبر بالدم. If it was missed, there's no way to rectify or compensate it with something else. That's a rukun. Wajib, if you miss it, there's a lot of wajibat, that if you miss it, that you could, by giving hadi, slaughtering a sheep, for example, that it might cover what you missed from wajib. That's in Hajj. So we differentiate between rukun and wajib in Hajj. In salawat, arkan salawat or wajibat salawat, it's same meaning. There's no difference. But for Hajj, when I say rukun, it's different from wajib. So how many arkan? Are 4. First of all, ihram. A lot of people think ihram is a dress. No, ihram is the intention. The dress is part of it. It's a part of ihram, or one of the required of ihram. You get the point? So what's ihram is the intention. And how many intentions that for Hajj? One of three. Either at the time of Hajj you perform only Hajj. Okay? And they call it that ifrad. And most time those ones, they had their Umrah in the same year. Okay? And there's another intention called Qiran. So they combine Hajj and Umrah, where the Tawaf and Sa'i are the same for both. There's no separate Tawaf and Sa'i for Umrah and then one for Hajj. That's a Qiran. And the third one, Tamattu. When you perform Umrah at the time of Hajj. So you make a Umrah, complete Umrah, and now you became mutahallil, you live normal, you dress normal, until the 8th of the Hijjah, Yawm al-Tarwiyah, then you start your Hajj. So that's called Tamattu. Which one is preferable? There are debates between scholars. Some of them, they said Qiran. Why is that? Because that they said that's how the Prophet made his Hajj. Others, they said no, Tamattu, where you perform Umrah first and then complete Hajj after. And why is that? Because they said the Prophet said, if Allah enable me for next time, I will do Tamattu. And actually, he said, because I have not, because I had the Qurbani, the Ibn with me, I would make Tamattu. So he expressed the feeling that he want to do Tamattu, but because of the circumstances, he made Qiran. So some scholars, they said Qiran is better, some said, Tamattu is better. But, sometimes you cannot choose because maybe you will arrive in the last minute anyway. There's no choice with you for Tamattu. Or sometimes, it's always like, your best choice is Tamattu because you arrive too early. Maybe 20 days before the day of Tarwiyah will be really difficult for you to have Qiran. Which is not that easy for you to stay with the dress of Hajj, all that period of time. Are you making out with me? Okay. Now for those that are going with the groups, you are going alone or with your wife? Alone. So if somebody is going like with the group, especially like, couples, always agree on which type of Hajj you are going to perform, which intention that you are going to choose. That will be much better for you. And imagine if you choose to do Tamattu and she chooses to do Qiran. That would be a really big problem for you because at that time, Tamattu, you can have sexual relation, but for her, because Qiran, you cannot touch her. You get the point? So there's no much benefit for you having even the intention of Tamattu, and your wife with you, and you cannot even touch her because she had made the intention of Qiran. Get the point? So it's always better that you agree in advance what you are going to do. So if you have the intention of Tamattu, let's say Tamattu, when you arrive in the miqat, or you are at the airport or at the airplane, it will be informed that's now miqat. So at that time, you make the intention. Labbaik Allahumma Umrah. So because you are making Qiran. So now you made the intention for Umrah, not for the Hajj. Okay? If you're making Tamattu, I'm saying. If you're making Qiran, then Labbaik Allahumma Hajja wa Umrah, together. But now because you are only doing Tamattu, so you're making the intention of Tamattu, and then the intention of Hajj will be later. Okay. For Ihram, it's always better to be prepared from home, taking shower, and it's not conditioned, and remove the extra hair, and prepare yourself, clean your and trim your and cut your nails, and maybe if you want to trim your beard or whatever, like you prepare yourself because you don't want to touch the hair after. Okay, so prepare yourself for Hajj, before even leave your home. That will be much easier. Some people, they choose to do that at the airport. It's a little bit difficult. It's not that visible sometimes, not like that's prepared or suitable for making shower. If you're taking maybe some Muslim airlines, they might accommodate the Hujjaj so they have good facility. But I will advise you that to have shower from home. And then when you are at the airplane, so you at the time before arriving and reaching the miqat, you be ready. So you remove all your clothes and only you dress, the izar and the top one. There are two pieces. So the two towels, the first one will get around the lower part and the other one the top. And I'd like you to try it in advance and watch some, people that are having experience. They recorded some, ways, how to dress it. It's always good. So when you dress it, make enough space between your legs. Because otherwise, you will trip when you walk. So widen between your legs and go around. Somebody will say, you know what, can I have built on the top? That's fine. You don't need it if you really have it, good in a good way. You don't need it, but you could have that one. There's no issue with this. So make sure that you help yourself and try before going. These days, like practice, how you will dress, your izar and your top as well. And if somebody needs help in that, I could show you that, inshallah. Now somebody will ask, I'm going to Medina first. Okay, that's fine. It's much easier actually. Going to Medina first, you don't have to worry. So spend the days in Medina, and then before you're leaving your hotel, going to Mecca, at that time you take a shower, and then you stop at Abyar Ali. That's a place, make haram from there. Make the intention there. You can pray to Rak'ah there, and then you go to Mecca from that way. So Medina first. For those they will arrive earlier, that actually would be a good option for them. Would be much easier. Otherwise, you have to prepare yourself from the airport of the last airplane. Because sometimes you have multiple stops. So from the last one, you should make sure that you have complete dress. Let's say somebody he forget and he still have his shoes on. He forgot to wear that suitable slippers. What he should do? To remove it. You walk barefoot. That's your mistake. What's happened. With that. Yeah. So you make sure with this. Can I wear the glasses? Medical one? That's fine. Can I put something in my head? No. Can you carry umbrella? That's fine. But should not touch your head. Can I take a shower, another shower, especially when I arrive at my hotel? Yes, that's fine. But do not use anything has a smell or a say, anything like has raiha or like, you get my point? Like there's a kind of material that you can use. It's okay. Can I use the Vaseline? Yeah, that's fine. Usually has no yeah. Can I use the many things people they use, but I would say just try to limit it to pure water when you take a shower. Okay? Can I carry like my bag? If there is a necessity, like when you're tawaf, but there's no need. It's better to secure it, somewhere, because you're gonna be really tired carrying something, I will advise people if they have ability to go Hajj, they go young. It's not easy trip, I'm telling you. Even for those that are young, it was good exercise for them. They lost a lot of weight, Yes, it's a good workout. And that's one of the good things I will advise you from now. until the Hajj, inshallah, every day minimum you walk for 1 hour, minimum. And if you can do 2 hours every day, that would be great. Because that's one of the ways to prepare yourself. Yeah, it's a lot of walking there. So this is the first one, it's Ihram. Do you have any question about Ihram? I'm just going through quickly. Yes. That's what I'm saying. The last flight, that will be the best. That you have it in your carry-on. So on the last flight at the transit airport, that's the best time to prepare. Some people they will say, you know what, I will do it at the airplane itself. It's very tight. It's not that convenient. I'm telling you, it's not that convenient. Yes. Yeah, you can say that, but when even you say just labbaik Allahumma Umrah, it will be enough. Yes, but in your intention, it's knowing that clearly that you are. If you say labbaik Allahumma Umrah at the time of Hajj, that means you are mutamatta'. And by the way, usually the intention is not out loud. والقصد للشيء بنية أتت بنية محلها القلب ثبت. So the place of intention is the heart. However, there's two exceptions. At the time of Hajj and Umrah, that's one exception. And the second exception, for the one they call it mustankih, kathir al-waswasa. The one has a lot, doubts that in and out that comes to his mind. If that help him to say the intention out loud, he can say. When he will pray, when he make wudu, if that would help him to reduce that amount of doubt, then he can do that. Otherwise, it's preferable that not to say it out loud. Yes. So there is ihram makani and zamani. Let's say now I had the intention to make Isha. I had intention and sincere intention. Does that count? It does not count until the Isha time arrives. Okay? So the intention that al-qasdu li-shay'i maqrunan bil-fi'li. You have the intention that attach, to the action. Let's say I have the intention to fast the next Ramadan. Even if you have intention, it doesn't count. I have to have the intention when the Ramadan arrives and make sure that the Ramadan is there. So the time is count and the place, because you're talking about the boundaries of Hajj. So if somebody made the intention outside the miqat, that intention, it does not count until he will reach the miqat, because that's for his sake. Because let's say he couldn't make it. If he made intention, he could not make it, and it's valid intention, that's, there's obligation on him. But if he made it from now, there's no obligation on me. Okay, you get the point? So let's say somebody has the intention to go to Hajj, but somehow his last flight canceled. So that's a rahmah for him, that he has not, that intention does not count. Because if that intention count, he somehow has to finish, his Hajj, there's kind of consequences for that. So that's why there is miqatun zamani or miqatun makani. So both has to be met, the time and the place, in order that intention will be valid. Okay? Yes, brother. The 2 rak'ah is a sunnah. If he couldn't pray it or whatever reason or forget, that's fine. So he can pray at the airplane. For his takbir ihram, if he could stand and say Allahu Akbar while standing, that's great. And he can finish the 2 rak'ah while he's sitting. There's no issue. Because it's a sunnah anyway. The Prophet, he, in multiple occasions, that praised sunnah while he was riding the animal. And that will be fine in that case. Okay? Yes, brother. Say it again. Oh, I prefer if somebody has the ability to go to Umrah first. We're gonna make the trip of Hajj more useful, and he will, grab the opportunity. Because of the first time he will go to Hajj, a lot of activities there, and a new place for him is not that familiar. It's not the same when he had the Umrah first. So when you have Umrah first, and then you go to see the places of Hajj, the Masha'ir, where if it's empty, you recognize it, Arafah, Muzdalifah, because one of the part of the trip, they will go to these places. So you learn. It's a part of your study, part of your preparation for Hajj. So if somebody has the ability to go to Umrah first, and then maybe next year we'll go for Hajj, that's the best practice or tactic. Yeah. Yes, brother. Okay, use the mic is better. Like even other people at home, they could at least listen to you. Yeah.
The question is this: that can you buy your ticket with your air miles or points and as hotel as well when you are going for Umrah or Hajj?
For Hajj, even if you get free Hajj, this is a gift. That's fine. It doesn't have to be the Hajj that's from your money. If it was gifted to you, then it's halal. Even the source of the money was haram, because the hadiyah, it's a halal source. Yes. So if somebody get hadiyah that Hajj was paid off, from somebody, that's a ni'mah. You don't have to worry about it. Yes. Yes, brother. So if it's Hajj, you could make Hajj on behalf of somebody after you make your own Hajj. So if you make Hajjatul Islam and you have performed the Hajj, then for any other trip, then you can perform Hajj for any person. Doesn't have to be a family member. I have met with one person, he's making Hajj on behalf of Imam Ibn Hazm. He said, I love Imam Ibn Hazm when I read some of his book, and I get to know that he never made it for Hajj. So they said, you know what? Let me perform Hajj for him. So, you could make Hajj on behalf of any person after you make your own Hajj.
Yeah, but actually, my question was a little bit different, but this is another story. Thank you. When we make Hajj for us and for our family members, kids and wife, will we take the ajr as well?
So, when you pay for them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. When you help any person to perform ta'ah and ibadah, you will be rewarded. And actually, if you take Hajj, somebody is not obligatory on him or her, like still under ages, like they are not in the age of puberty, not in the age of bulugh, you will get the reward of that person. As the Prophet, when a person he hold his son up, ala hada Hajj, is this Hajj for this? And the Prophet says, walak al ajru. In riwayah, walak al ajru. So you will get the reward. Yeah. Any question from the sisters before we continue? Yes. So the first pillar of Hajj, it's ihram. That's the first one. Yes, go ahead, brother.
Oh, sorry. If we wear a belt around your ihram, does it need to have any specification or any belt shoe?
No, that's fine. Anyone. You don't have to worry. But nowadays, some people they will do it fancy or something. They have a belt where they have some pocket. You can keep your ID, some money here and there. You could do that as well. Yeah, no problem. And actually about the IDs, make sure, especially those are elderly, make sure that you know your place, where you live. Make sure that you put your luggage by yourself at your room. Because what happened, and I was one time going to Hajj with the group, and all the people, they were happy because they reached Mecca like under 60, 70, and they left their luggage in the bus. and they went to Haram. And one of those elders, we missed him for 7 days. We couldn't locate him. We couldn't. We looked for that. And his wife, poor wife, was really worried about him. 7 days. But look at this. The day we found him, we lost his wife. and brothers, they will tease him. They said, you know what? Your wife, she did it on purpose because you Subhanallah. There's one of the brothers, he couldn't find the way to the hotel. So he stopped at the security, and he told him, "Ana rayah." Rayah in his slang, that means I lost. Rayah. That's So he said, "Ana rayah." He said, "طب روح." Okay, rayah, get and go. Said, no, I don't know where's the place of my hotel. Oh, he said, you are daya. So daya anta, daya, it's a curse, the word curse in their language. Daya means saya, it's a bad word for them. So they start fighting. He said, I'm here for Hajj, and you curse me, and it's a bad word for me. And then, subhanallah, some people came, they said, no, they're not misunderstood him just because of the different use of the word. And subhanallah, it both speaking Arabic, but they couldn't understand each other. So do not think just like here there are 2 gates. There are maybe I don't know, 99 gates or so. There's a lot of gates there. So if you don't know which gate and you don't know the hotel, you'll be in trouble. So take the ID with you, the name of the hotel, the card before you go. Somebody say, I'm really tired from the trip. Can I rest? Yes, you can rest. You can sleep. You don't have to go right away. Yes, you make do not cover your head. You wear your dress. You keep all the condition of ihram. Okay. Any other condition? Okay, maybe we go and talk about the second pillar, which is tawaf. Tawaf. There are tawaf, it's rukn, and there's tawaf is wajib, and there are tawaf, is mustahab, is sunnah. It's all the way how you perform it are the same. Especially talking about rukn and wajib. But as I said, the rukn is must. You cannot combine it with something else. Wajib, if you mess it with the hadith. Okay. So when talking about, for example, tawafu al-ifada, it's must. Okay? You cannot miss it. But tawafu al-wada', no, it's not must. It's not like rukn. Which is different ruling. So the way how you perform it, all the same. So how you perform it? You start from Hajar Aswad and you end by the Hajar. So that's one round. And if you missed the counting, you consider the minimum. So let's say I was doubting, I did 5 or 6? Which one I should consider? 5, because 5 is solid. There's no doubt about it. So consider 5 and then we do more. Okay? So this is how it should be. If I lost my wudu, I start over. Because like salah, الطواف كصلاة تحية البيت الطواف. So the tahiyya, the way how you come to the bayt, or tawaf. There are some scholars that said not condition, but to be honest, the majority of scholars they said it's must. I know some scholars, like Sheikh Ibn Baz, rahmatullah alayhi, with all respect, he said it's not condition, but majority of scholars they said it is a must to have wudu for tawaf, not for sa'i. For sa'i, all of them agreed that's not a condition to have wudu. If somebody has salas, if somebody has a condition that he cannot keep the wudu because of his sickness, he doesn't have to worry. That person doesn't have to worry. We're talking about the person in a normal situation, in a normal health condition. Okay? So the tawaf, that's required, wudu. And when you make tawaf, there's any special dua? There's no special dua. You can make any dua. However, it's preferable when you start, say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and point to Hajar. And when close to ending the round, you will say, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And in between, you can say any dua, any Quran, any dhikr, any istighfar, salah on Nabi Sallam, whatever you can say. Some people, they hold in book, so that's a dua of Shawt al-Awwal, the first round, the second one. This is not from the Sunnah. There's no specific dua at each round. Do not be distracted with all of that. Yeah, nothing wrong to carry something just to remind yourself about the da'awat and wasallam. That's fine. But there is no specific dua in each round. Just, general, dua you can make. Huh? Both are options. If you feel that you will say it loud, that's fine, without distracting, without having issue with that. That's whatever you feel. You can say it out loud. You can say it, secret. But it's up to you. And you can talk if talk doesn't invalidate or break your tawaf. If you need to talk, somebody you're looking for somebody with you, so it's all of that fine. And for Hajj, there is no time you will say, what, be smart, I will use the time that we're not in that crowd. No. Around the clock, it's busy. It might be at night less, might be. It might be after Fajr a bit less, but actually whatever time you go, there's a lot of crowd. Try your best, inshallah, and may Allah accept it. Any question related to tawaf? I'm sure there's a lot of details that you. Yes. So tawaf it will be outside Kaaba. Outside, the Kaaba. Which means you have to not to cross that half circle around the Kaaba, because that half a circle is a part of Kaaba. Hijr Ismail, let's say, that's part of Kaaba. Technically, you cannot cross it because if the time of Salatul Fard, that will be closed. Salatul Sunnah, it's crowded. And you should not be close to what's called Ha'id Shudruwan. That's it's like a small sidewalk around the Kaaba where they tie the kiswa. That one, it's part of Kaaba. It used to be inside. So that one, you cannot even lean to your body toward this. It has to be outside. I'm just saying that just for your knowledge. But you're not going to be at that first round. For your, So, but just to get to know. Well, if it's happened, yes, you have to make sure, Let's say now I'm making tawaf and a time for salah. Yes, in the time for salah, you stop your tawaf, Salatul al-Fard, and you pray and then you continue. If I don't know from where I continue, I start the round from Hijr. I don't count, all other, but I count from the Hijr. Yes. During the prayer, in the past, I don't know what's going on now in their Mecca. In the past, there are some people, their job, that advise sisters to go to their area when the time for Salah. In the past. I don't know nowadays, with the time of Muhammad bin Salman, what's going on. Allah. Huh? So, after you finish the 7th round, you stop to pray 2 rak'ah. And it's better if you can behind the Maqam Ibrahim. And it's better you make them short and recite after Fatiha in the first Qul Ya Al-Kafirun and Qul Huwa Al-Ahad in the second one after Fatiha. So that's the 2 rak'ah. It's preferable that way. And then it's preferable before starting sa'i, you drink from Zamzam. You stop, drink from Zamzam in the way that's, they call it in hadith tatadalla, where another term that you feel that you are going to rub. And you're not going to be. It's really good, at that time. Drink as much as you can. I'm not giving you the details now, but just, generally speaking, When you enter Kaaba and Mecca, that's one of the best time as well for dua. Do not rush even for tawaf. Stop a little bit making dua, inshallah. It's different, different feeling. Yes. And when you drink Zamzam, stop for making dua. Do not miss that opportunity. Ma'u Zamzam lima shuriba lahu. Huh? Anytime in any place, even if it was carried out. Yes, that when every time that you drink Zamzam, make dua, inshallah. That will be a sign that dua will be answered. Sirrul istijaba in there. There is sirr of istijaba. There's a secret of the answer in that water. Because if you remember that place, the whole place, established when the water of Zamzam established. And the water of Zamzam established because of the dua of mother of Ismail, Hajar. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered her and the water spring under the foot of the baby. Just if I want to share with you my thought about the tawaf. Subhanallah. As my background, the electrical engineer, was studying, the electrons. And the electrons goes around the central for 7 orbits. And they move the electron the anti-clockwise. And in the tawaf, in the same direction. From darra to majarra, from the smallest part and particular, part in the body, to the largest that things that we know, that in the galaxy. All of the movement in the same direction. When you move there, you move with all of the world with the same direction. And as I said, 7 orbits. And when the electron, they give inside of the electron, they give energy to the electron, and the electron will be out the orbit, will cause kind of distracting and destroying energy, unbelievable. And that's the theory actually of the nuclear bomb. Because they tried the electron will be out of the orbit. If they cause that will give power and energy, and and you see how it's a huge explosion that could happen. So when you go for 7, you'll be freeing yourself from many things. That's why you feel different after going tawaf. Who taught Muhammad ﷺ that direction? And who taught him that the numbers? And you see the similarity of that with the smallest particular, of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the earth, and the largest, and all moving in the same direction. So you could reflect on that. When you go to Hajj, it's a trip of reflection, thinking, absorbing, and there are many lessons that we learn. Yes. Where's that? The sound? I heard like an alarm. Huh? In my bucket? Or where? Maybe under the chair? I don't know. Yes. Under my feet. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, okay. Huh? Yes. So for the first time, for the first 3 rounds, yes, you expose your shoulder, and at that time, the Rasul advised the Sahaba to do so to show their strength to the mushrikeen. They were absorbing them. Some scholars, not for the whole rounds, for the first 3 rounds. And by the way, if the salah time there, then you cover your shoulder. Some scholars, they said that's mu'allal. There's a hikmah in it. There's a wisdom that, connects to that action. وَالْحُكْمَ يَدُورُ مَعَ الْعِلَّةِ وُجُودٌ عَدَمًا. So they said there's no need to do that. Some other scholars said no, regardless of the reason, then we should, practice this, even that as a way to remember that action that happened at the time. Yes. Yes. Please, yeah. No. It's all the same. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Allah yasalmak, ya Rabb. I have a quick question regarding the dua when you see the Kaaba.
Yes.
And the dua when drinking Ma Zamzam.
Yes.
So, like, basically, if with every sip, I can have different dua and
Of
different.
course.
Dua. Okay, that's good.
Of course. However, when you focus on one dua or multiple du'as, that's actually will give it the power, because you're thinking of it, you insist on it. Sometimes it's beautiful to focus. There are some of the Sahaba, they have one unique dua, they focus on it when they're during the Hajj. And every trip of Hajj, they focus on something. And before next Hajj will come, that they will see it happen as part of the reality, subhanallah. So it's good to focus on few like dua that, you put your energy there, repeat it, you insist on it, but you can make any dua and multiple du'as.
Okay.
One of the scholars, he made beautiful dua. He's smart. He said, Allahumma ja'alni mustajab ad-da'wah. What he said, oh Allah, make me among those their dua is answered. He's smart. Because if this one was answered, then whatever you can make dua, it will be answered. There are some people, whatever they ask Allah, Allah will answer them. لو أقسم على الله لأبره. Yes. Even among Sahaba, there are some of them who knowing that their dua comes true right away. So he said, oh Allah, make me among those their dua is acceptable. So if that, only this one was answered, then he doesn't have to worry about any other dua that comes after. So it's open, you can make dua. Al-Hasan al-Basri, he made a dua about that Allah will bless him with the knowledge, and he was a great scholar. They said that Imam Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, he made a dua that Allah will bless him with a kind of knowledge nobody he knew about it before. And subhanallah, Allah opened in his mind to discover what's called ilm al-arud. That's, the special music in the Arabic poems. They call it buhur. And he discovered all of these 16 bahar, 16 types of poems that's in the Arabic poems. And and the only maybe one he didn't mention, they called al-mutadarak. Where somebody came after, he found that extra one. And this is one of the unique things, that the knowledge is started by one person and almost ended or concluded by the same person. So he made a Hajj, and he made that dua. Before he arrived his home, Allah opened his heart and his mind to know that, ilm. And it was told that even he died because of that. He was thinking about Bahr, the rhythm of one of the poetries. and thinking of that, and his mind was absent. He hit the calm in the masjid and he died. Subhanallah.
Yeah, and there is like one dua mustajab as soon as you see the Kaaba.
There's no a solid evidence for that. But this is one of the times that we advise people not to go without investing in this. That's a moment, because it's a special moment. People, they have a really good reaction when they see the Kaaba for the first time. A lot of people, they couldn't even hold their tears. It's a good moment that you invest on it, the moment of connection. So there is a hadith about that, but it's not that authentic. Yes, brother. So the second pillar is tawaf. That's, I mentioned. So there are some tawaf are rukn, is a pillar, and some tawaf is pillar, and some of tawaf it's must, but not pillar. And I differentiate what's the difference between pillar and must. Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. Is it permissible to filming video filming and taking pictures of the Kaaba while you are doing the tawaf? Is it a good practice to video film?
Is it permissible to take pictures, to chat, to do like all of these activities during tawaf? To be honest, these are kind of a distraction. I remember in my first time visiting Mecca, 1996. Not that old, but at that time there were signs everywhere about it's not permissible to take pictures. It's not inside. There's no pictures. Even if they saw you, they would take the camera from you. And it was more peaceful than nowadays. So I would advise people that those that are performing their tawaf, that's the one is pillar, and especially the first of their tawaf, that you should avoid all of these distraction things. Now, when they do their voluntary tawaf, it's fine. They're a little bit relaxed. They already performed their main tawaf. They are doing, because they're going to spend some days in Kaaba there, so they are doing that extra tawaf. Then it's fine at that time. There's no harm in this. But regardless, if somebody have taken selfie, and pictures, that does not invalidate the tawaf. But we should take the maximum, benefit of the tawaf. If you are going to Hajj with somebody is like really most time giving jokes and funny, maybe it's better now during tawaf and during sa'i and during umrah, maybe in a spare time. A lot of people, they make jokes and they are not really in the mood, of the ibadah. So you want to bring that mood of ibadah with no or with less distraction. So all of these could distract you. Yes. Sisters, do you have any questions, sister? You have a mic there if you want. Okay. Now about sa'i. The sa'i, there's no voluntarily sa'i. That's something we have to understand. I've seen people with no dress of ihram, they go in for sa'i. I don't know what they are doing. The sa'i only for muhrim. Okay? It's not for somebody who has no ihram. Okay? Like those who have no ihram, they're not doing their hajj or their umrah, what they are doing for sa'i. Okay? So that's something you have to understand. If you have a free time, go for tawaf, not for sa'i. And now, sa'i is not like, like a tawaf. Some people, they are thinking, starting from Safa and going back to Safa, that's one round. No, there's 2 rounds. Yes. I know one person, he did 14. Like, you did. The first time. SubhanAllah. So, you didn't finish it? Yeah. So it's not easy. So you did 14, back and forth, So start from Safa. The Sahaba asked Rasulullah which one you will start. He said, Ibda'u bima bada Allahu bi. Start with the things that Allah, start with it. And Allah said in the Quran with Safa. So start with Safa and go to Marwa. So this is one. Going back to Safa, two. So now when you calculate, just think of it. When the last one will be? At Marwa. Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 at Marwa. So this is, 7, round of Tawaf. You finished 14. Subhanallah. Yeah. And for Tawaf, it's a condition to have wudu, but not for Sa'i. And I mentioned the differences between, school of thoughts. There are signs you're going to see, you're not going to miss. It used to be a green light, where you juggle, they call it in Arabic ramal, you speed a little bit, if you can. You speed a little bit in there, in between, and then the other one is a normal walk. Can I take a ride even if I'm able to walk? You can. You can. The Prophet ﷺ, he did his sa'i while he was riding on a camel. So you can do that while you're riding. Nowadays, even there's a scooter there, There are like electrical bikes, they're like, I prefer not, because you want to spend more time for dua, for reflection, it's good, that you walk. But is it permissible that I took any of those machines or rides? That's fine. Huh? It's long? It is. It is almost 1 kilometer, 970 something for each one. Yes. 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 And actually, if you do tawaf from the second floor, each one more than 1 kilometer. Yes. If you make it from the second floor for the tawaf, each round. Yes. But from on the floors. But if you make it from the sahan, it's not even the 4 of them, not even 1 kilometer. Okay. Next time, inshallah, we'll continue more. Have your questions, and if anybody has specific question after salah regarding Hajj, that's especially those that are going, inshallah, this year. I could spare some time with them, inshallah, bi'idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if somebody has tamattu', he will finish the umrah, and then he will just stay normal there, dress normal, pray in the masjid, salawat, try not to miss any salah, each salah with 100 times, 100,000, times, mi'ati alf. The prayer in Masjid al-Salam 1,000, but in Mecca 100,000. Subhanallah, that's one salah. So do not miss, the salawat in there. On the 8th of the Hijjah, at the time you will go to Mina. Some people, they go direct to Arafah. You can do that. It's a sunnah to sleep at that night on Mina. And actually, even the accommodation there in Mina, it's much better than the accommodation in Arafah. There's not much things in Arafah there. But the tent and the places in Mina, that's more preferable. So you stay in Mina, and then from Mina they go the next day to Arafah. And Arafah doesn't mean that the Jabal al-Rahmah, that small mountain, is there. No. Arafah, all that mawda', all that any place. But just make sure that you are inside. Look at the signs there. Some people, they will pray in a masjid namira. If you pray in the Masjid Namira, do not stay in the Masjid Namira. You have to leave the masjid because the masjid is not in the boundaries of Arafah. Okay, the Masjid Namira where they have the salah in there, like so spend time in there, especially the time that after the sun set. Do not rush, until you make sure that you attend the sunset in there. So before sunset and after, make sure you stay there. Even if somebody is sick, they will bring that person with the emboss and they will really make sure the person that attending, Arafah at that day. Okay? Yeah, so in the morning, or they sleep the night on Mina, and then they can leave, So after Dhuhr, yes. So in the daytime, that's the time it's wajib, and after the sunset, that's the must time you have to be there. Do not leave, Arafah until you make sure that's a Maghrib time. Then do not pray Maghrib there. Then from there you leave to Muzdalifah and you pray Maghrib and Isha there on the way before you reach your place in Mina. Okay, so there are a lot of details. We can talk about those ones a little bit later, subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will advise you to watch some documentaries, to read some books, to listen to some lectures, and to ask. Because sometimes we make mistakes that it's hard to fix. Some mistakes it's easy to fix, but some mistakes are hard to fix. So it's very important that to learn. Let's stop at this point. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us all, inshallah, to go for Hajj and Umrah. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وراجع بنا الحق وإلى الطريق المستقيم. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.